a bribe. So they offered me a free flight if I'm willing to delete my video. I'm not interested in free flights at all. I'm not Sam Choi. Qatar Airways tried everything possible to have the video removed. I'm risking my life here. That's what I was told, because they will go after you, and not in a way that you know it from Western countries. What exactly happened? I posted a video by the title of the shocking decline of Qatar Airways. The flight was below average. Very old planes, outdated in-flight entertainment, bored cabin crew, absolute filthy toilets, and each flight ran out of food choices. So 2 days after I published the video, I received a message from my friend Ahmed, who works with the PR and marketing department at Qatar Airways, who, by the way, is not allowed to talk to me anymore. And he asked me if I would mind to jump on a quick call with the corporate communication team, which I agreed to. So you would expect the conversation to kick off with the words, "We're really sorry for your flight," or "What do you have experienced on Qatar Airways?" And it was none of that. No remorse, no apology, nothing. And they said, or the first sentence he said was, "Whatever happens right now, whatever we talk about, it's off record, you can't film it, you can't ever talk about." And this is when the alarm bells went on. And I said, for my own safety and for everybody involved, I need to start recording this conversation, because that doesn't sound quite right. So after this, the first question was, "Josh, what's your motive? Why did you do this?" And I pretty much said, this is my job. I do review airlines for a living. I'm gonna show it unfiltered, the way I experience it. And I made a video about what it's like to fly Qatar Airways in economy class in 2023. There's no motive. I don't want anything in exchange. I'm not interested in any of this. I literally just do my job. So they obviously said they don't like the video, it reflects negatively on the airline, and they're not interested in bad PR. So they offered me a free flight, a PR flight from anywhere, if I'm willing to delete my video. And that's the worst thing that you can offer me. I'm not interested in free flights at all. I'm not Sam Choi. I'm not showcasing or advertise your airline in exchange for any favors on my channel. This is not my brand. This is not what I stand for. So I politely declined the offer. So after I turned down their offer, they said, "We noticed a couple of comments in the video, some summed up to like 1,000 likes, from cabin crew, complaining about the bad working conditions, the curfew, the minimum rest, delays in pay, and all sorts of problems that apparently happen within the airline." So I pinned it, and they asked me to delete and remove it as well, because they were not interested to have people see what's going on behind the scene. It was not just one comment, there was a lot of comments from other crew members as well. Once again, I declined. So they asked me if there's anything they can do to make it right, to which I declined, and I said, "You know, this is the video. If you want to share your point of view and why things happened the way they did in the video, I'm more than happy to have you comment on the video on your official Qatar Airways account, and I will pin it on top so people can listen to both sides of the story." So in this part is very important. I asked about the privacy, whether they've been concerned about faces being shown, though I had permission from the crew members that I interact with on the flight, and they said, "No, we don't have any concerns about privacy whatsoever." And I really wish I could show you guys. I have you listen to the phone conversation. They said, "Maybe we can put you in touch with the chief for an interview or something like that." They said, "We will be in touch, we will think about something." And that was literally the last time I've ever heard from the corporate communication team, until a week later. Prior all this, I already had a flight booked on Qatar Airways from Abu Dhabi via Doha to Bangkok, because I wanted to make a video on their new 737 MAX, which mostly flies between Abu Dhabi and Doha, and then on the Airbus A380 all the way to Bangkok. But that was already booked before I published the video and before the phone conversation. So yeah, a couple of days later, I received an email. Let me read it to you. "Dear Mr. Cahill, booking reference, we are reaching out to you to inform you that in accordance with Article 8 and 12 of our condition of carriage, your booking has been cancelled and we can no longer permit further bookings for you to travel at this time with Qatar Airways. In 10 years of reviewing airlines, I was finally banned from an airline. So what does it mean? Article 8 and 12, simply the fact that I didn't ask for permission to film my flight experience from Colombo to London via Doha. I find it quite interesting because I've never had permission before on my previous Qatar Airways flights. And interestingly, I have spoken to Nonstop Dan, Noel Phillips, Trek Trandy, who have been flying on Qatar Airways recently as well. And I asked them, did you guys get permission to film or do your flight review on Qatar Airways? And all of them said they didn't. So technically, if Qatar Airways was doing it right, they would ban the boys as well, which I don't want, but just to give you an example. So this is a very important point, which I mentioned earlier about privacy. I had the permission from the crew that interacted with me in the video. There was one crew member that didn't want it to be filmed. I blurred her face right from the beginning, but the other two agreed to be in the video. And now we come to a very, very shocking part, and it kind of shows you how Qatar Airways really operates behind the scenes. So then, a couple of days later, I received an email from one of the crew members who happened to be on my flight. So let me read it to you, and trust me, you'd be shocked. Hey Josh, I'm sure you remember me from your QR flight from Colombo to Doha. I know I gave you permission to film the interaction, but I must ask you to remove me from the video. I was called into office and pressured to write a statement to Mr. Salia, in brackets, my manager, that I didn't give permission to be filmed. If I don't write it, I will most likely be dismissed, fired. That's how they operate here, unfortunately. Once again, I'm very sorry about it. Your help is much appreciated. So obviously I had to verify whether this email is genuine or not. I can't just post it without any proof. So I replied to her, but I never got any response. So what I did is I got in touch with my friends at Qatar Airways. There were so many helpful people within the airline who really were supportive of my case, and they really said, hey Josh, there's a lot of things going wrong here within the airline, let me help you. And they were indeed able to confirm that Mr. Salia is, I think, performance manager of the particular crew member. So I guess that this report is genuine. From what I understood is that in Qatar, if you use a Qatar IP address, you're no longer able to watch the video. So what happened to the crew? Well, I can't 100% verify it, but a lot of sources reached out to me and said that the crew, all of them, were dismissed, fired, terminated, and let go after Qatar Airways wasn't able to remove the video. The airline that cared so much about their privacy decided, all right, that didn't work, let's just get rid of all of them, which is an absolute disgusting and awful decision to make. Nobody deserves to be fired because of a flight review. This is absolutely unheard of. So yeah, this decision is an absolute disgrace and sends testament how little Qatar Airways cares about their cabin crew, the hard work that they put in. So for a couple of weeks, I was sitting here and considering, should I record this? Should I put this online? Should I put myself at risk? Because, you know, Qatar Airways is a giant, and they're capable of everything. I'm risking my life here. That's what I was told. They said, be careful if you post this, because they will go after you, and not in a way that you know it from Western countries. They deal with problems sometimes very differently.